The United States is one of the most powerful countries in the world with some of the smartest detectives and advanced technology to solve crimes. But even with all this, there are still some cases that stump authorities for decades. These are some of the top unsolved cases in America. Number 10. The disappearance of Maura Murray. On February 9, 2004, 21-year-old nursing student Maura Murray was involved in a car accident in Haverhill, New Hampshire. After hitting a snowbank, her car wound up in the woods. Despite being badly damaged, the young woman was nowhere to be seen. Police discovered that Maura's car had been traveling south on Route 112 when she suddenly veered off the road. And although the accident itself was not fatal, investigators believe that Maura somehow wandered off into the snowy woods and became disoriented, never to be found. A massive search effort turned up nothing, neither did months of media attention. 5 years after the tragedy, her family set up the nonprofit organization Finding Maura to keep the case alive and offer a reward for information leading to her whereabouts. Her family is convinced that foul play was not a factor in her disappearance, and they just want to bring their daughter home. Number 9. The Beaumont Children. In 1966, 3 siblings from Adelaide, Australia disappeared after going to the beach. This case has all the makings of a terrifying nightmare, but it happened for real. 9-year-old Jane, 7-year-old Arna, and 4-year-old Grant were last seen by their mother, who sent them off to the beach in the morning and then went back to sleep. When she awoke, the children were gone, along with their towels, shoes, and one of the family's cars. While there were no signs of a struggle, the kids were never found. One of the more perplexing aspects of this case is that an artist named William Dargy depicted a similar child abduction in one of his paintings 5 years prior. Could he have been the perpetrator? Or was this a coincidence? Authorities do not know. Number 8. The Zodiac Killer. The terror of San Francisco's Zodiac Killer still haunts the city to this day. Between 1968 and 1969, a serial killer went on a rampage, murdering at least 8 people and injuring several others. He gained the attention of law enforcement after sending cryptic messages to the police and newspapers detailing his crimes. But despite many leads, no one was ever arrested for the murders. In 1974, the police investigation ran out of steam, though some still believe the case could be solved with today's technology. There are plenty of suspects, including Arthur Lee Allen, who was killed in 1992. But without hard evidence, the case remains unsolved. What makes the Zodiac killings even more disturbing is the fact that the killer may still be out there. Given that most of his victims were killed during the summer months, maybe he's still hiding in plain sight, only coming out to play when everyone else does. Number 7. The Boy in the Box. In 1957, a young boy's battered body was found in a cardboard box in Philadelphia. The boy was estimated to be between 4 and 6 years old and had suffered severe physical abuse. A local mortuary took custody of the body, and with no one claiming it, a funeral home director took the coffin to be buried. Over the years, the case attracted the attention of 2 separate task forces, but the boy's identity remained a mystery. Even the release of a composite sketch of what the child might have looked like did not turn up any solid leads. In 2022, DNA testing was used to identify the boy as Joseph Augustus Zarelli. But who killed him and why? That's still unknown. Number 6. The Hinterkaifeck Murders. In March 1922, 6 people were brutally murdered on a farm in Bavaria, Germany. While the motive and the perpetrator are still unknown, we know that 5 members of the same family and 1 farmhand were slain, likely with a mattock. The victims were Andreas Gruber, his wife Cecilia, their daughter Victoria, their sons Carl and Joseph, as well as the farmhand Lawrence Schlittenhiller. The 6th victim was never identified with certainty and may have been an intruder or a traveling salesman who stopped by the night before. What makes this case so perplexing is that almost every aspect of it is shrouded in mystery. For example, who could have committed such a crime and why? There are also strange coincidences. On the night of the murders, villagers reported seeing a lone horseman riding past the farmhouse at around 8 p.m. However, horses were nowhere to be seen the following morning. What was he riding? Could the murderer have gotten away? Did someone help him? Was it a werewolf? Number 5. Jack the Ripper. Is there anyone who hasn't heard of Jack the Ripper? In 1888, a serial killer terrorized London's Whitechapel district, hacking women to death and leaving the Victorian-era England in suspense. The killer earned the moniker Jack the Ripper due to a letter supposedly sent to police and signed with those 3 infamous words. In total, the killer claimed the lives of at least 5 women, possibly more, over a time frame of 3 months. Their brutal mutilation shocked the public. To this day, the mystery of Jack the Ripper endures. Who was behind the killings? Was he ever caught? And did he really sign that letter, Jack? All these questions remain unanswered. Number 4. The disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa. Labor union leader Jimmy Hoffa was last seen getting into a car outside the Mach's Red Fox restaurant in Bloomfield Township, Michigan, on July 30th, 1975. The problem is no one knows why. Hoffa was known for his colorful past and had ties to organized crime, so naturally foul play was suspected. According to author Dan Moldea, Hoffa had made threats against Anthony Giacalone and Anthony, Tony Jack, Giacalone, 2 Detroit Mafia figures who had become rivals. Hoffa had supposedly told the men that if they continued to pursue their own interests instead of sticking together, he would destroy them. Hoffa was placed on the FBI's 10 Most Wanted Fugitives list in 1964 for mail and wire fraud. He served time in federal prison and was barred from ever holding a union office again. He was hoping to make a comeback when he vanished, which is why the government had reason to want him dead. To this day, his body has never been recovered, and nobody knows what truly happened to him. Number 3. The Texas Killing Fields. Located near Houston, the 1,400-acre wooded area known as the Texas Killing Fields has gained its name from the large number of bodies that have been found there. As many as 30 victims have been discovered since 1970, mostly young women who had been strangled to death. While most of the victims were sex workers, not all of them were. The earliest murder can be traced back to December 1970, when the body of a 19-year-old high school graduate was found. She had been strangled with a pair of pantyhose. Other victims included 14-year-old Diana Williams and 26-year-old Laura Miller, whose battered body turned up in the very same spot where Diana's had been found 12 years earlier. Some believe the Texas Killing Fields death toll is much higher than recorded, considering how remote the area is and the fact that it was used as a dumping ground for years. No suspect has ever been charged with any of the murders, but police continue to investigate the case. Number 2. The Central Park Jogger Case. In 1989, a female jogger was brutally attacked in New York City's Central Park. At the time, the press referred to the perpetrator as the Central Park Jogger, and it wasn't until 2002 that Matias Reyes confessed to being the attacker. But here's where things get complicated. After the attack, 5 teenagers were arrested and convicted. They maintained their innocence, however, claiming that they had been coerced into confessing by the police. It wasn't until 2002 that Matias Reyes confessed to being the sole perpetrator. By that time, the other 5 had already served 7 years in prison. Number 1. The Mysterious Death of Elvis Presley. No list of unsolved mysteries would be complete without mentioning Elvis, the king of rock and roll. Elvis died on August 16, 1977, at the age of 42. According to his longtime physician, Dr. George Nikopoulos, Elvis died of a heart attack. But conspiracy theories abound, and it's likely that we'll never know the truth. Elvis was found unresponsive by his girlfriend, Ginger Alden, who tried unsuccessfully to revive him. His death certificate attributes the fatal heart attack to a prescription drug overdose, and that's where things get murky. Elvis had been prescribed a cocktail of drugs, including codeine, Darvon, Valium, and various stimulants. Did one of them kill him? Was it an accident or suicide? And why have so many books and documentaries come out claiming that the CIA poisoned him? Considering the amount of speculation surrounding his death, it's no wonder that Elvis fans still wonder about the circumstances that took him away from them so soon. Which of these cases would you love to see solved? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay tuned for more videos like these.